Hello, Gumby 1220 here again today with tutorial number 5 of the audio post-production series. In this tutorial I will go through the basics on how to import, layer, and edit your sound effects. And alright, let's get started by opening our workspace browser by hitting Option: and dragging in our sound effects that we're going to use into our regions bin. Again, I already have mine placed in for this specific project. Now that we have those in, our regions placed in, there are two ways to edit your sound effects. You can use the edit track just like we did in the backgrounds tutorial, or you can use replace region. Replace region is done by selecting your ghost regions, then holding shift command, and then dragging your file from the regions bin into the ghost region. Once it's dropped in, a dialog box will pops up. You then choose your options that best suit the project. If you need to move the audio, you can hold down Control and while nudging using the plus and minus keys on your numeric keypad, and it nudges the WAV file within that region. It doesn't actually move the region; it just moves the WAV file within the region. It's hard to explain without a visual, but I'm unable to do this method on the setup. So for this tutorial, I'm going to use the edit track. So now let's get started by dragging let's get our edit tracks first down, and what we'll do is we'll get started by starting on with our splats. Here we'll zoom in, and I'm gonna come here, get splat 1, put it in our mono track since it's a mono track, and as you can see it's long, doesn't line up, so we need to edit this a bit. So just click right there, zoom in on it, and get in slip mode so you can edit it precisely, and put your cursor there. We'll hit B to split that and delete that section. So now we have our beginning of the splat, and since this has 2 in there, split that in half, trim this up with our trimmer tool, bring that in, and we'll trim this in a bit too, drag that over, and we're going to trim this up. There we go. Now we'll zoom in, get this edited at the end. Oops. Undo, and there we go. Now let's edit this one. So we'll layer these two. So we'll use this one file as one layer, and there, right there. And you know what? We're going to cut out that little end part and just use these first 2 bits. There we go. Now we got them edited. Now we need to place them in place. So how you do that is get them in sync. Okay, we need to get this one in with this region. So how we're going to sync it up with at the very beginning is we're going to hold down Control and grabbing it with your grabber tool, and it snaps it right to the beginning. So now you can see that the regions, boom, right there. And we want to get this one. Okay, now we're going to move this down by hitting Control again and dragging it down to our BFX, since that's a mono track. You can't place it on a stereo track. And there, we got that in. Now we're going to do the same for our second layer by hitting Control, clicking, snaps it in place. Now Control click and drag that down to our BFX 2. There we go. Okay, so now let's take a look at this. See what we got. Alright, not bad. So, okay. And remember that I'm not spending too much time on this to get it perfect. It's just for demonstration purposes. So, and now since we have our layers in place, what we want to do is we want to create our fades. You have to create fades or else there's going to be popping and clicking in there. So you're going to hit Command F, set up your fades. You can change these if you want. 10 seconds is usually perfect. So go ahead and hit OK. And now you can come down here, you set your fade. Since 10 milliseconds is already selected, you just hit the F key and it puts them in. No need to pop up the window again. Now what we need to do for each of these is we need to timestamp them. For Mac users, it's Shift-Command-M, pops up your timestamp window. And hit OK. Boom, that one's timestamped. Now we need to export your region's definition, the region's definitions. And how you do that is you hit Shift-Command-Y, again for Mac users. And now we need to do the same for the bottom one. Shift-Command-M, timestamp, Shift-Command-Y, export. And now we're going to lock them in place. And how, because you don't want those are perfect, they're in sync, they're in place. So you hit Command L and it locks your region in place. So you cannot click and move it. See, it pops up this window. One or more locked regions are selected. Hit cancel, it won't move it. So you have a little safety guard there. Alright, now since that one's in place, what I'm going to do is delete this first ghost region, and boom, there we go. Now we're going to go in and get our second one in place. We've already spotted for them. Normally I would be in here with into our video track, getting it fine-tuned, but this is just a show how. So what we're going to do now is I'm going to come in, drag in, Splat 2. Come in here, this is a stereo track, so put it on your stereo edit. And let's see here. Okay, it's just one long file that's unnecessarily long. So now we're going to come in here to the beginning of this sound and zoom in so you can get the very beginning. Be in slip mode for this. And oops, there we go. B, delete that. Now we're going to go to the end. And there we go. B. Delete that. Now we want to sync it up, and how you remember, click your ghost region. So that's because that goes as the guide that you want to sync it up with. Hit Control and hold down Control, and grab your the sound effect that you want to sync up with. Boom, there it goes, syncs it up. Now what we need to do is, okay, now since it is a little bit longer, I am going to edit this, and normally I wouldn't do this. I would create another track and put it down, and well, let's go ahead and do that. Shift Command N, stereo, there we go. This is going to be AFX 3, and we'll control click and drag that down there. I'm not even going to layer that one. What we'll do here is we'll delete that region, and we're going to put in our fade. Just hit F since we already have it set up the way we want our fades to be. And now we're going to hit Shift Command M, timestamp, Shift Command Y, export our region's definitions, and Command L to lock it in place. Lock and load. And now what we're going to do is go to Split 3, oops, Splat 3, bring it up here, and to the closer right there. B to split that, delete. And this one I'm going to split in two as well and layer it. And B, delete that middle section. Look at the end of this, trim it in. That should be good for demonstration purposes again. And select your region, control and click, snap it in place. And now since that's in place, so we're going to control click and drag this down to our next available, and I'm not sure if that overlaps or not, so I'm just going to bring it down to the next one, and click, shift command or control click, snap it in place, then sync, control click and drag down so it stays in place. There we go. Now we have our 2 layers, and we can delete this ghost region, and we're going to put in our fades by hitting the F key again, and timestamp, shift command M, export region definitions, shift command Y, and lock command L. So, oops, undo that, and what we're going to do now is timestamp this, boom, export, and lock. There we go. And now we need to have this one. So what we're going to do is I'm going to take a mixture of, get our splat 1 and splat 2. There we go. Splat 1, way over here. Delete. There we go. Click and drag this over so we can see it. And we want this one to be a big splat, so we're going to place 3 in there, 3 layers. So, and I'm not going to get these perfect, I'm just going to eyeball them real quick. There. There. And what I'm going to do now is snap this first one in place by control grabbing. There we go. And this is stereo, so I'm going to control and click drag this up to AFX1 and move this over so it doesn't get erased. Click our ghost region. Control grab the next region. Control and click drag this down to VFX. And again here, control click, and whoop, looks like it's going to overlap. So what we're going to do is, I think we can place this on VFX. Nope, we cannot. So what we need to do is create another track. So shift command N, another mono, and just put it in color. Boom. There we go. And rename it VFX 4. And control click drag this down. There we go. Now we need to add our fades. F key, and F key again. And here we're going to timestamp, shift command M, export, shift command Y, and block, command L. Do the same for these down here. There we go. Now let's take a look at what we have going on. Let's get a little bit before. Hey. It's alright. Good for demonstration purposes, right? Alright. Now since we have that, we have our layers in and everything, I'm going to go in, since it is pretty time consuming, I'm going to add in the fly and all the gunshots. Because it's done the same exact way, and then I'll come back and wrap it up. Okay, now that we have that, all of our sound effects placed in, time-stamped, exported, and locked in place with all of our fades, let's take a look at it, see what we got going. We'll go in here, open up our video, and let's see what we got. Start off at 59:58, the 2-pop. And I'm not sure if you guys can hear the audio, but Again, you guys might not hear this, so, but you always want to do a quick run through. So. Alright, looks pretty good. Alright, and well, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for the next video tutorial on voiceover and ADR, replacing dialogue. Again, subscribe and leave comments, please, and stay tuned for the next video. We'll go into ADR and everything, even though there really is no audio in here to replace, or dialogue to replace. But we're going to do some voiceover work, and I'm going to do it with the as if we're doing ADR with the 3-beep lineup, so that way you'll know how to do ADR and how to sync it in, get it in sync. Alright, well, stay tuned. Again, leave comments, subscribe please, and see you next tutorial.